Hola, buenas noches. This is Tamara from Love Dominates. Agape Love Dominates. Anyway, today is June 24th, 2022, and I'm going to talk really loud. Not that that's hard for me to do, but I'm going to talk really loud because I have a lot of background noise. I'm making this video. I don't know what to call it, but I'm making this video because there was an incident that happened yesterday on June 23rd, 2022 in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to expose these people because enough is enough. Since 2012, I've been fighting these animals who have a license to kill. They have a license to destroy children. They have a license to destroy families. And they've been doing it intentionally for decades. What do you do? What do you do when your state and your county is committing crimes against you? How do you get them to stop? Please, somebody answer that question in the comments section. How do you get these guys to stop? Because they are relentless. They will not stop. So, I'm going to tell you what happened. Yesterday at 8 p.m. at night, my sister gets a knock at her door at 283 Thomas Drive in Pennsylvania, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. She is being improperly served by the paperwork is from one of my lawyers that I had in 2013. This man, he's not a man. These people aren't human. And I'm dead serious. I'm not name calling. I'm going to be very factual. Everything that I say today is of my own eyes, my own witness. I am my own plaintiff and my own witness in my case. No court, no judge, no lawyer can sit there and do what they're doing. This is illegal. There is no law, there is no justice. They make these laws to protect themselves. And the truth has become lies, and the lies have become truth. People should know this by now. Look at our government. It's a hot mess. I crack up. I don't even watch. I do not even give people the time of day. I've never watched TV. I'm not a TV watcher. I believe everyone should throw it out because that's where half of the indoctrination happens. TV, video games. Stop idolizing the Pope, entertainers, Hollywood, the president, Republican, Democrat. It doesn't matter what party you're with. Don't be with a party. There should be no government. There should be no courts here on earth. The only courts we should be concerned about are the courts of heaven. And if we're getting into heaven or not. Because that is when we have judgment day. All this little crap that's going on is Satan running around. This is Satan's claws. And I'm going to prove that at federal court. This is Satan's claws. Remember that. So, these judges, these imposters, I call them, you know, they sit there and they'll turn around to you. I was a pro se litigant. They turn around to you. How do you know you're not, you don't have a license? And I'm like, I don't want a license. I don't want to destroy people's lives. Being part of the bar association, you have to be a criminal. So, the next time you go up and shake a lawyer's hand, walk up to him and go, "Hi, I'm a truth teller. How's your conscience today?" Because they have no conscience. These people are dangerous people, and I mean dangerous. They will kill your parents. They will steal your assets. They will get into your bank accounts. They will get into your safe deposit boxes. They will steal your estates, your children, any property that you have. They know how to take it. There's a private side and a public side. You guys have to do your due diligence and start learning the system, because it's one big lie. And you're all living a lie. If you want to walk away and pretend you don't see anything, that's your choice. But you're all living a lie. So the reason I'm telling you this is, like a week ago, I get a phone call. I'm out of the country, by the way. And so they have no jurisdiction over me. None whatsoever. They have no jurisdiction if I was in Montgomery County. They have no jurisdiction to get into my parents' trust, to get into our personal assets, to get into our property, period. Period. But they do it anyway. And everyone is so afraid. They use fear-mongering. They send you these false documents, these false court documents, without even a judge's signature, without a affidavit from the judge. I mean, they do everything. The police do everything illegal. Don't even trust principals at your schools. I would not put my kid in a school district because they could steal your kids any day, anytime. I would homeschool. I highly recommend keeping your family nearby, and don't trust anyone, because that's where our world is right now, thanks to our government and our system. Anyway, I'm at 6 minutes right now. What happened the other day, they went into, or they're trying to get into my personal bank accounts, my deceased father's bank accounts, my sister's, our safe deposit boxes. They are trying to steal my dad's house right now, and they probably will. I've already wiped it away. I said, oh, well, I'll lose that too. I don't care. I'm not run by money. I don't care about money. But it's funny watching these people. That's all they care about. It is like you cut their arm off if they don't get more. There's never an end to it. So as of this date, they have stolen my sister's house illegally. They say it was a foreclosure. There's no foreclosures. This is every single mortgage is fraud. It's fraud. The realtors are fraud. It's mortgage fraud. It is intentional deception. And I'm going to prove this all in federal court. So I have a fraud examiner that's been going over the paperwork, and this person is literally dead on. And it's phenomenal to see the dots connecting. Bum, bum, bum. And it's all the judges, the lawyers, the sheriff. They're claiming your claims that were rightfully yours, your property. Sheriff Kilkenny down in Montgomery County is involved. They're all involved. The DA, the governor, the judges, the lawyers, the therapists, the court-appointed therapists. They're all involved. They lied to my children. They tricked my children. They are responsible for the splitting of my children's minds, because now my kids are trauma bonded to the alienator, which they're going to be in abuse the rest of their life. Just like my ex is trauma bonded to his mother. It is enmeshment. It is incestual. It is filthy, disgusting. How you watch a grown adult behave the way that they do. And the behaviors that they teach are not healthy for your children. And now our children act, talk, and have been taught to hate. And by the way, hatred is a learned behavior. Love is natural. And if we all give love, you'll receive love. And if we give love, agape love, We can beat this. I, honest to God, know in my heart of hearts, if everyone would just follow the basic 10 commandments of honor thy father and mother, um, love thy neighbor. That's very important. Because if you love your neighbor and that neighbor loves their neighbor and you're spreading love around the world or around your little village, then who needs government telling you how to do anything? It's you, the people, that need to stand up now. Now is the time. We can beat the government easily. The government has done the divide and conquer. They want us to fight. They want wars. There is no wars. It's all fake. They make money on both sides. Everything is for profit. Humans are for profit. Children are for profit. They harvest humans. They harvest children. There's child trafficking. All of this. Anyway, I'm getting off the track. Basically, the government makes laws and regulations so they can call us criminals so that they can steal from us. That's what they're doing. Remember this. If there is no injured party, then there's no crime. None. I'm the injured party. But yet, they call me a criminal. I'm being injured, and they turn it around. So anyway, the reason I'm making this video is because I want you to know that Albert Earl is a lawyer in Norristown, Pennsylvania. His lawyer is Joseph Claffey, who I can't even explain the games that these guys play. I mean, it's kind of comical. It's funny watching these licensed lawyers, bar card holders. They run around doing evil things, and they actually have a stern face like they are good humans. If I told you what I know, I know you wouldn't believe me. But these two right now, Albert is an intervener in my divorce and on my property. Not only did Albert collect money from the sheriff when they forced my house. My ex lived in the house that he purposely didn't pay to make it look on paper like the house went into foreclosure. No, this was all planned out because the judges talked to the banks, the judges talked to the mortgage companies, and this is all a game to them. This is all intentional fraud. So anyway, they tried putting judgments on me, charging liens. I mean, it's fun to watch. I've actually had people as a witness come into the hearings, and they know when I'm not available and will try to have a hearing, and I purposely have to have somebody else jump on that call and be my witness. And they're actually doing these hearings without me, and then they make up false lies saying I said something. Or they implied that, I owe Albert money. So let me tell you something. Albert Earl is trying to get $38,000 from me, saying I owed him. Meanwhile, this is back in 2013. He wasn't my lawyer since 2014. 3 years later, he files a charging lien on me after he handed me all the files, and it was ended. But it took maybe 6 months. He's still on the docket. I cannot get him off. You can never get a lawyer off your docket. They keep the lawyer on there so they can keep claiming things on the private side. So what they do is they have like a conservatorship over you. I'm actually married to my lawyer because we have, what's it called? uh, I can't think. Oh my God, there's a movie about it. But anyway, um, on paper, it looks like I'm married to Albert, and he's making these claims behind the scenes. But they took my sister's house, they took my sister's kids through parental alienation, through the courts with a bunch of false documents. Meanwhile, her husband, John Roberts, beat her, and he's an alcoholic. But that's okay. Now, I'm not saying my sister was perfect. I'm not saying I was perfect. I yelled at my kids, but most mothers do yell at their kids if you have rules. But now looking back, the reason I was yelling because I was living in a circle of chaos. I was living in, uh, what do you call it? The narcissist creates all this confusion, so you don't know what's going on. They make your life harder, not easier. And then when you ask for a divorce, bang, you betrayed him. So now he's going to either kill you, destroy you. You'll never be able to have a job. You'll be alone the rest of your life. No one's ever going to listen to you. You'll be in a mental home or incarcerated. My ex has tried everything. He's tried to put me in a mental home. He tried putting my dad, or my brother's involved. And by the way, I didn't bring this up. Back in 2012, I asked my ex for a divorce. Mask falls off. This is exactly what he does. I hold all the cards. I hold all the finances. I didn't think we had any money. But this is what he's saying. You will never see your kids again, Tamara. You will never see them. And the kids could kill you and get away with it because you deserve it. And they're underage. At the time, my kids were only 10, 12, 14, and 16. So that is the kind of man that I was dealing with. And he was able to build a regime against me. So he got my parents against me. My brother started working for him back on November 11th, 2012. That I know of on paper. It could have been earlier. But on November 12th, 2012, my brother had my mother change her will and cut me out of the will and make him executor. But my dad, if he was still alive, he was executor, unless if he was not of sound mind. So what does my brother do? All of a sudden, he's really nice to my parents. He's taking them out to dinner. He's having them over for dinner. He's fixing my mom's computer so that he can get all the emails. But my mom didn't listen. She thought he was doing this out of the kindness of his heart. But he had ulterior motives. Then, my mother dies. And still to this day, my mom died in 2016 and I can't probate her will. I've had a lawyer outside of the county and cannot get. My dad was trying to, when my dad was alive, was trying to get what was rightfully his. And he could not. He did not have any peace because we did not probate my mom's will. I had nothing to do with it. My brother's responsible, but he doesn't get in trouble for not probating my mom's will. The lawyer tried to get the original will from my brother, and the lawyer's exact words was, "Your brother is disturbed." Disturbed. That was the word I got. Anyway, not only does my brother work for my ex, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law's uncle, the whole purpose was to cut us out of the will, to steal all the assets, to make sure we don't have anything, so that I lived out of a cardboard box. I was homeless. I lived in my car. Everybody was against me. He convinced my family, my friends, my high school friends, my neighbors. They all believed his lies. It was like watching a bad movie unfold. I grew up in the town that I was, where my marital house was, and I introduced him to all my friends and family. And my friends actually believed him. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And my mother used to have holidays without me there and would invite the kids and my ex without me knowing. And if I showed up, they'd call the cops. If you have someone calling the cops on you because you want to give love to your children, you want to see your children, that person is the alienator. And that person has a lot of trauma and a lot of issues. And I don't like labeling people, but that is the honest to God truth. I don't know what else to call it. Abuse is abuse. Anyway, so that's what's going on right now. So Albert Earl is now trying to steal my parents' house, trying to get into my dad's trust, and my sister will be homeless. She's going to be homeless, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. And this is from my old lawyers, the judges, and by the way, the Judge Carluccio. Here's some information. Judge Carolyn Carluccio, her family, she's a Tornetta. They own one of the largest real estate firms in Montgomery County. You'll wonder why they're the largest firm. It's because they're stealing everyone's property. They target certain people and steal their property illegally. But they make it look like it's a foreclosure on paper. She also happens to own the building down in Montgomery County, the courthouse. So, conflicts of interest? I don't know. Please put some comments down here. God, I could tell you so many stories. The lawyers and what they're involved in. And I will say this. Freemasonry is no joke. Do your own due diligence. Study it. Learn it. Know the signs. Know the symbols. Because then you'll be able to pick up everything. And please, please, do not give any power to these judges, to these lawyers, to the police, to anyone with a title. The Pope, the President, no one. Nobody is above you. Nobody. Well, I'm sorry, God. He's the only one. God is the only one who is above us all. Nobody is perfect. But nobody has the right to give judgment here on earth. This is Satan's court, Satan's clause. Quote me. I'm going to bring this into federal court. This is a clue for you, Albert. I'm giving this in court. Satan's clause. It's true. There's only one courts, and it's the courts of heaven. And they're the ones that we should be worried about. But as long as you have that relationship, and you're doing right, and you're following your heart and your intuition, you know naturally what's right and what's wrong. But the government is trying to make it acceptable in our minds, like child trafficking is normal. That's okay. It's all right to murder. It's okay to sleep with your parents. This is what our government's doing. They are brainwashing you. Throw away the TVs. Don't pay your taxes. Because you're paying criminals. That's all you're doing. You have to retrain your thinking. Everything we were taught was a lie. You know, go to high school. We don't have to go to high school. Go to college, get a degree. No, you don't. Join a fraternity. Absolutely do not. Fraternities are tied to the Freemasonries. There is jobs out there, companies out there that are literally cult leaders and are training your children to hate their parents. I won't give up the company names yet, but I will eventually. Anyway, I'm making this live because I want people to know that Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, not only do they go after the children your assets, but they also go after the elderly abuse. They murder the elderly. And I don't say that lightly. I know personally 3 cases that I have personally met these people, and they have murdered them just to steal their assets. These people are disturbed. But anyone that's a truth teller ends up being labeled crazy, mentally ill, conspiracy theory. No, I'm sitting here today. This is called Tea Time with Tamara, Truth Time with Tamara. And I am going to expose these people. I'm not angry. I'm actually laughing. I want to be like a stand-up comedian and tell you all the facts that I have in my head. But that would take about a month because of all the criminal acts. Enough is enough with these people. They need to be jailed for what they've done. Or hung. This is criminal activities. Intentional. They are intentionally harming us. And we need to get it to stop. We need our government to provide services to us, not for them to make profit off of us. Think about that one. All right. Seriously. Keep your kids at home. Do not trust the government, especially in the U.S. They lure people to the U.S. under these false theories that you're living in a free country. You're not. The U.S. is absolutely the worst. They have, I don't want to say the wrong information, but there is, I had it written down. I forget the percentage. It was something, the U.S. has more people locked up in prison because these prisons are privately owned, probably by our judges, and they make a certain percentage per day, per person that's in jail. And so they just put false accusations on people and put them in jail for no reason at all. The minute you walk into that courtroom, you're going to be hung. So don't go to court. Do not go to court, and never hire a lawyer. Ever, ever. You represent yourself. And don't let them bully you. Don't let them bully you. Anyway, I will give you an update. This is 28 minutes long. Thanks for hanging with me. I just can't believe this is still going on after 2012. All I wanted was a divorce. I wanted my husband at the time to come home and be a father to his kids. And look what's happened. I haven't seen my kids in almost 12 years for no reason at all. People judged me, stoned me, and threw me out like a piece of trash. And my kids are missing the greatest love in the world. Love from a mother. It's a really sad story. And my kids aren't strong enough to come around. They saw what their father did to me. They know what their father's capable of. And they just think, they party with them. Here it is. The children, the father, and the mother was down here. So the father was friends with the children, gave them whatever they wanted. They were never held accountable for anything. And they were allowed to demean, demoralize, and disrespect their mother. That is wrong on so many levels. Honor thy father and mother. What happened to that? If we would give love, love thy neighbor. If we just do simple things like that, we'll be able to beat the government. If everyone starts loving on everyone, give love, receive love, we'll scare the little criminals away. Agape love dominates. We really need to love everyone, take care of your neighbors, love one another, choose compassion over judgment, choose love over hate in every decision you make. All right, love dominates. I'm gonna keep. Obviously, they're gonna keep continuing this. They're not gonna stop their nonsense in court. They have no jurisdiction over my sister, but yet they're gonna harass her. And if something happens to her, if something happens to her, or something happens to me, I am of sound mind, body and soul. I have no mental issues. I'm not on pharmaceutical drugs. I don't do recreational drugs. And I have a couple occasional beers or a drink. And that's about it. So if something were to happen to me or my sister, we didn't do it. I would never, ever harm myself because I am staying alive and strong, surviving narcissistic abuse. And I mean, this is domestic terrorism, absolutely domestic family terrorism. And I'm not joking. This is soul murdering. That's what they're doing. And I am role modeling to my children to never accept this behavior from anyone. Nobody is above you. Nobody is below you. We are all equals. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what job you have. I don't care if you're the Pope, the president, a salesperson. You're not above me. You're not below me. I don't care if you're a judge. I don't care if you're a lawyer, a therapist, if you have a license. If you have a license to me, you're sick. If somebody has a license, a doctor, a lawyer, a judge who's supposed to have an oath of office, a police officer, they are criminals. You guys need to start doing your due diligence, doing your research, and understand the system now. Because eventually they're going to get to your kids and your family. And you're going to wish you had knowledge. All right. Now I'm at 32 minutes. All right. Love dominates. I will continue this. Everything they do from this point on, I'm making it known. Because I'm protecting myself, and I'm protecting my sister, and I'm protecting my dad's assets. This is our property, not theirs. And everything they have done, I have a fraud examiner, and they are connecting the dots. And it is great validation to hear from other people that, number one, they can't believe I'm alive for everything that I've gone through, that the realtors were involved, the judges, the banks, the mortgage companies. I mean, it never ends. These people are sick people, but it is a cult. They're all about their ego, money, power, greed, their pride. They'll never admit their wrongs. They live in fear of their guilt and shame. And we, the empaths, the people of the light, we literally live free because we have no guilt and shame. I'm not perfect, but I have no guilt. I have no shame. I've admitted anything I've ever done. And I've even given forgiveness to my husband and my mother-in-law who have stolen my kids' lives. They have destroyed our children just because he wants to get back at me because I was leaving the great Tom Sweeney. Nobody leaves. Nobody betrays Thomas Sweeney. Or else. Anyway, cheers. Ciao.